Good morning. Did you hear Noah back there? He said, good morning. Such a sweet kid. Hope all of you are doing well. Don't want to do a long one. I say that, and it'll always be 10 minutes. Oh. No, I was pondering last night what I wanted to go into. And I think I want to briefly go into the subject of automatic writing. Automatic writing is a technique that is used in mediumship. It's one that when I was being used as a kid, I was used a good bit in automatic writing sessions. I will say I don't have any active memory of an automatic writing session. I must have been under, full trance, doing it. But part of that is how that works, right? The medium will go into a trance-like state, communicate with the spirit, and will write. We'll use writing, describe the message. I've also seen other techniques where, I don't want to call them sensitive because I think they know that they're being used, but a medium will write involuntarily while they're channeling a message. I don't know if that would be considered automatic writing per se. I don't know all the odds and ends of every detail of the occult stuff. I just know what I experience and what I research. So if you know more, feel free to comment. But anyway, I wanted to bring it up and because it's one technique that gets used a good bit. Another one is like channel message dictations, speaking. I was used for that a good bit, and those I remember some of those. Some example in this book, The Making of Yeats's A Vision, right? Yeats, the old Irish poet, and his wife, Georgie, and a couple other mediums, would travel around and do seances, and they would record all their adventures, all the communications with the spirits of the dead. Georgie was the primary medium used on that, and she used writing, automatic writing, a good bit. Oh, yeah. Me and Georgie are tight. I like Georgie. I had mentioned that, I was used in the automatic writing. And one spirit that I was used a good bit for was El Moria. I would write for him. I've already mentioned that I was a channel for him. And so I would be used in the writing. As a little boy, a young boy, before I even remember being able to be very good in the penmanship on my own, I was used for it. El Moria has a famous signature in the occult community. He writes his M's in a big cursive-like way, but it's one that is distinct. And if you know, you know. And I can remember, like I said, I don't remember the sessions, but I can remember when I went to stay with my uncle. And at the time, this is when Dad dropped me off. So I'm there with my uncle and my dad. My uncle gets a sheet of paper, and he goes, sign your name real quick. Go ahead and do it. Sign it now. And so I do. Now, I'm probably around, 8 years old, 9 years old, somewhere around that at the time. I had already developed a signature, through school. You remember when they had us learn how to do our handwriting in cursive, a signature? And I had come up with mine. I thought it was so cool. I felt like I was a little bit ahead of the game. I had a big M and then an A-T-T and then the rest of my name. I thought it was original. Anyway, so I do as Uncle says and I sign my name. He looks at my dad. He goes, "Who's that look like?" Dad looks at him, kind of with a, squint in his eyes. He wasn't happy that he said that in front of me. He goes, "Well, he wouldn't be doing it now." I'm going to show you my signature. That's how I do them. Notice the M. I remember thinking I came up with that all by myself. And then when the memories came back and I realized, what was going on, what they were doing to me, it was a little disappointing because I was kind of like, wow, I guess it wasn't completely my signature. I still write with it today, though. I've claimed it. It's mine. It's mine now. I'm taking it. Oh. But yeah, that's a thing. I feel like now, I don't do automatic writing now. I haven't been in trance a long time. But I do get inspired when I write music. Sometimes I do feel like the words just fall onto the page, almost as if like they're just going through. I don't say that to be all like, oh, my lyrics are from God or anything, but it's just something, when you get inspired, you get inspired. I think other people who write ought to understand what I'm talking about. El Morya's funny. Not really. He's actually pretty serious. Out of all the Ascended Master guys, he's one that wouldn't joke around much. He speaks sharply. I can remember on my first channel with him what he said. And I will say, and I've read literature, I've read books that were channel messages from him too, and it lines up. He does not like being used and using mediums. He is not about it. I remember in my channel with him, he goes, "Why are you using mediums?" I said in my little kid voice. I was only probably like 4 years old at the time, maybe 3, maybe 5, I don't know, somewhere around there. I was young. "Why are you using mediums? Do not use mediums." The operator then dominated me in front of my father. That was a fun experience. I say that in sarcasm. I remember my dad telling my grandpa about that story. He left out the end part. His grandpa was wondering how that went. "Well, how was that?" Dad goes, "Yeah, he said he wasn't happy we were using mediums." Grandpa goes, "Oh yeah, that's Morya. He does that every time." I think it is pretty cool to have the gift. I do. I know it, like I said before, it's kind of like an up and down, right? You realize there's a lot of pain with it, but it is cool. I will say this, though, specifically for those who are used in automatic writing. And if you had a name that started with the same letter, who you were channeling, I guess one danger is I could see how others could easily forge one's signature, especially if they already knew how you signed it. Maybe even getting one who was a medium in a trance state to sign a document. It's unfortunate because the study of these practices isn't evil per se, but there are some wicked people out there that have bad intentions. Studying this spiritualism can actually be quite liberating. And in my experience, it was an integral part of my liberation. God led me to the path. But at the same time, it would be foolish to not be aware and understand that there are people out there who wish to hide this knowledge so they can have an upper hand. When I was little, I used to get in trouble because I would share too much. You gotta understand, keeping secrets is a big part of these occult schools and groups. But what I didn't understand, because I would read this literature, and even now today when I read the Mahatmas and I read the Ascended Masters and the Hierarchy and the Great White Brotherhood and all those guys of light, they speak about everyone learning these lessons. And I remember even as a kid, it would just baffle my mind. Why? If these things are supposed to help you and help people and they're good, why hide it? And so I wouldn't. I would tell folks. I would say too much. I guess maybe I still do. But I still feel the same way. That's why I actually show the books. Oh, man. I tick a lot of occult people off, a lot of these lodge folks. I make them so mad by showing off these books. A lot of them are mad because they didn't know the books themselves, right? Which is still, it's kind of like, you know, you're following these people who are keeping you dumb and blind so they can take advantage of you. Right? So they can be the hand that feeds you. Like you're a dog. Good dog. But I wish to just teach people how to do it themselves. I don't think there's anything wrong with going to somebody and getting your cards read or having a spiritualist tell your fortune and all that. Even pay them some money if you want to. I mean, that's, people got to make a living. I understand that. But when someone tells you that you can't look this stuff up yourself and that you have to keep coming to them in order to find this enlightenment, I have a problem with that. Oh, yeah. And that's where you have to use your discernment and your discrimination. Because in this occult world, this world of theosophy, magic, there's going to be those who are going to tell you, you have to learn from me and me alone. I've been trained to do this, and I'm the one to teach you, and you're going to have to pay me thousands of dollars for me to liberate you. And all they're going to do is just read cards to you. Again, nothing wrong with getting your card read. Nothing wrong with the tarot readers. I like the tarot readers. But what I don't like is when people take advantage of folks who are hurting or who want to learn more, and they don't give them the knowledge. They just give them a little bit of juice in their cup. Well, come back to me to get some more now. No, I want to teach you how to make that juice. I said it was going to be short. You see what I'm saying? All right, guys. Have a good day. Love y'all now.